and welcome to Book Club Corner. My name is Jewel Green. I'm your host, where every Wednesday we chat with local authors, publishing industry stakeholders, and literary lovers right here in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago at Tobago Updates. Listen, as we get ready for Carnival, as we get ready for Easter, as we get ready for Lent, whatever you may be into, I'm so glad that you decided to join us here today on Book Club Corner, wherever you may be viewing from across the Caribbean, in the diaspora, North America, South, wherever you are. Welcome to Book Club Corner. We have with us here today a local author, a local diaspora author, and he's a Jamaican-born author. He's been in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 16 years, and he is the author of The Silent Love. He's also an information technology professional and an accounting professional. JD Morgan, welcome.
Hi. Good morning, Joel. Thanks for having me today.
It's lovely to have you here with us.
Yes, it is.
Listen, when I saw that you were an accounting professional, I said, this is my people. You like numbers?
Huh?
You like numbers?
Yes and no. But I'm actually going through a career change right now. So
very nice.
yes.
What are you transitioning to?
Not exactly sure, but I'm open to the new adventures that are about to await me.
Listen, career change is a beautiful thing. When I started, I pursued a degree in psychology, got roped into accounting, became an accounting professional, and now what am I doing? Interviewing authors on books, which I loved from a small child. So enjoy the journey, and we wish you all the best. And I have to cheers to you. Well, you know how I do it. We're having some LLW exotic wines from Luke Lashley. And I had into the sorrel wine, right? Let me tell you, we had it last week, so we're not going to go through the 5 S's again. But it smells like Christmas. All it's missing is the ham and some hops and some chow chow, maybe some chutney, a little kuchila. Let me tell you, it's good wine. And he can't have any apparently. So, more for me.
More for you.
More for me. Cheers to you on your journey. You're having some government juice, right? That's what we call water here in Trinidad and Tobago. You have it?
New type of champagne, this is.
The bubbleless.
Yes.
All right then, I like that one. Listen, cheers to you on your career journey and change, and to you there, viewers, as you stick with us on Book Club Corner, we're going to be getting into Mr. Morgan's books. Get your drink, get your snack, you know how we do it. For those who are new, you may not know, but we love to sip and chat and chill. Go get your drink, get your snack, and come right back. We are going to be back with you after this very short break. Welcome back, viewers across the Caribbean. It is turning out to be a rainy day in Scarborough, Tobago, and if you know anything about me, I love the rain, and so do a lot of people who read. But we're here with JD Morgan, who is going to be talking to us about his book, The Silent Love. JD, how do you like to read? Do you like to read when rain is falling, or sans rain?
Well, it doesn't. It just definitely helps when it's raining. It sets the mood, and the rain itself is very relaxing.
Yes, the sound of the rain as well, yeah?
Yes.
Tell us about your book, The Silent Love. How did you get into, writing? And tell us about what this book, what readers should expect from your book.
Right. I got into writing, it's around 2019 when I fully embraced writing. I had a back injury. Unfortunately, I was a I am still an avid gym goer. So I one day was just, well, overcompensating that day
Mm-hmm.
and pop, my back had a bulging disc and I was immobile for quite some time. Couldn't focus, started to have anxiety, depression, and I needed a way to express myself. My mind was always racing, and funny enough, I confided in Zav, the artist. He let me know the best to calm a racing mind is to sit with the stars, the moon, and just put pen to paper.
He's so right. He
Yes,
is so right.
insightful one.
Listen, Zav, shout out to you. He's a good friend of mine and a fellow writer. He write music and all of that. And listen, he's one of my colleagues at the Tobago Writers Guild. He was is a past president of the guild. And the guilds wish you all the best, for 2025 as you go ahead. And it's so encouraging to hear that, the Tobago Writers Guild isn't just about writers. We encourage people as well, and it's good to have that network and community for writers. Yeah.
Yes.
So I like that. That is how you started. Tell us about your book. What can readers expect from your book, and why this genre?
Right. I was always told that I had a way with words. I never truly embraced them.
Yes.
And technically, I'm an introvert, so I tend to, well, always be in my mind and keep to myself. So, and I like to rhyme as well.
Yes.
So poetry just seemed like the easier way to actually bring those expressions across. And with, let's see, what is captured in the book is about depression and anxiety. So it's basically a journey from that painful time in my period to when I grow past that and regain.
Yes. I really love that. So you use the book as a cathartic journey
Yes,
to really get yourself from point A to point B.
right.
And let me tell you, I have had a few back pain moments, but back pain it makes you feel so depressed. I don't even know how come. I've been ill before, and you feel like, well, it's gonna pass, but back pain, it's something there's something different.
Yeah,
It's something entirely different.
it was excruciating because I was on steroids, and so most of the times I was sleeping, and even at times I just couldn't sleep at all. So writing was truly the only way I could have got through that moment,
Yeah.
including going through physiotherapy and seeing a psychologist.
And do you find that the physiotherapy and seeing the psychologist help with other areas of your life as well?
Yes. Well, first we want to say he actually helped with the poetry as well, because the
Really?
first exercise I did in therapy was to write a poem. Well, to complete a poem,
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
with I am.
I love that. And that I am phrase is so powerful. People don't even know.
Yes.
It's one of those ways to work in an affirmation, and I really like that. Tell us about your favorite poem in the book and the response you've been getting from people who've been reading your book.
Right. So my poem would have been, favorite poem is Faded Dreams.
Yes.
Yes. You mind if I have a read out it now?
We're gonna read later.
Okay.
You
Just
don't
to-
rush my read along time. My read aloud time. Listen, that's my most favorite time. Don't rush me because I had to get comfortable. I had to get my wine and sit down and chill, and then you read it. We're gonna get to it. But what has been the response from readers, in terms of your book?
Right. There's from one reader, they're not accustomed to reading poetry. So you're saying I wrote it like, like they don't have to puke or feel nauseated reading it. Yes. was
So
quite an interesting comment.
yeah, you left all the mushy stuff. That's what they found.
I wouldn't say
Very real.
it does have much love because technically it's called the silent love. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just about myself, but also persons of interest that I would have had.
Mm-hmm.
So it speaks about the anxiety, depression, and also,
So it
yeah,
feels very grounded and down to earth to
yes,
the reader. I really like that analogy for your book in terms of being down to earth, because sometimes we want a book that will take us away, right?
yes,
Take us into that imaginative world that is making us forget about all our issues and problems. But sometimes you also need something to identify with, you know, something you could hold on to and say, this writer, he understands me. You
yes.
know, he understands what I am going through. When you talk about the silent love, why did you choose that name for your book?
Alright, so I was actually brainstorming several few names. To begin with, sunflowers. I
Mm-hmm.
actually like the way sunflowers adjust to the sun, especially in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
They follow the sun around. So me in particular, when I'm interested in someone, my eyes tend to follow them around.
Yes.
I don't know that I'm doing it, but it's happening.
Yes.
And then I found out on a Chinese website that sunflowers also have a meaning, the silent love. So I was actually going to call the book The Silent Sunflower, but then that's kind of contradictory.
Oh. No, I like it. But I also like the silent love, right? I love that this, you know, the silent love says something because, you know, sometimes you expect love to be loud,
Right.
to be showy. And you're talking about that, those quiet things that people may do or say that indicate how they feel. Yeah, I really like that. But the silent sunflower, that's a good one too. So why didn't you go with that one? What happened?
Based on, well, now that I don't explain the meaning of it, it'd be like saying
Yes.
the silent love, the silent love.
Mm-hmm. It's true. But that is only because I guess in some territories they would have known the word to be synonymous,
Yes.
sunflower, with love.
Right.
You know, in our territory we wouldn't even know. So I guess you're catering to all persons, yeah?
Yes.
And I like that. How do you write? What's your favorite time of the day or night to write? And do you like to write alone? Are you one of those authors who join writing communities and we sit and write together quietly, or do you like writing by yourself?
See, I do like writing by myself.
Yes.
I haven't tried writing with others as yet. I only recently joined like a Instagram prompt where you have a certain amount of time to write a poem and a certain amount of words to use, and then I share it on within the comments.
Oh, and how do you find that process?
It's been interesting. It's only recently that I've started doing that. Before, I normally just sit mostly in the dark, very low lit areas. Mostly 12 to 3, 4 a.m. I'd start to write. Sometimes the words just come at any time, especially when I'm driving. It does be hard to remember.
Yes.
I remember though, one time I was driving,
Yeah.
and I took out my recorder to record the what I just say it out loud so I could go
Yes.
back to it later. When I reached back home, I realized the recorder didn't record at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
I just had to let it be, and
Yeah, I hope it came back.
yeah, or something else will
Oh
come.
my God. I tell you, sometimes technology fails us, you know.
Yes, it does.
Fails us terribly. I'd have been so upset. Oh my God, you're thinking you have content to go home and work on, and then when you realize nothing.
Nothing at all.
Empty space. Listen, I have to put a plug out there for people who like to go in fridges and eat your food. Because that empty space feeling, you know, that disappointment that you thought you recorded when you look nothing there,
Yes.
It's the same feeling when you pull the fridge door and there's an empty space where your food was.
Shame on those people.
And
Yeah.
I like you. Tell them, shame on them.
Shame
Don't
on you.
don't eat my food, man.
That's where we will lose it. I'll never.
You know that's the lowest. Some
don't play
people,
with my
you pull
food.
the fridge door, you're real excited, like yes, and when you look at empty spot, technology fails us and gives us that same empty feeling.
Yes. I probably will throw this one out to my sister, my older sister.
She's guilty.
Yes, very guilty.
What's her name?
Felicia.
Just her first name.
Felicia.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Say
Felicia.
bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. And on that note, we're going on a quick break. Bye, Felicia. Stop eating people's stuff. And I'm putting it out there for all those who like to pull the fridge and see an empty space and your heart drop. Let me tell you, please, always stop the wickedness. Okay? And bye, Felicia. We're going on a quick break. Bring your drinks, bring your snacks. Come right back. We're here with JD Morgan about his book, The Silent Love. Welcome back to Book Club Corner, where we're chatting with the amazing Jamaican-born Trinidad and Tobago author JD Morgan about his book, The Silent Love. JD Morgan, tell us about where you've promoted the book, the things that you have done so far since you've published the book. What have you been doing since then?
Okay. So my book would have been published February last year, and I would have taken part in Caribbean Author Village from One Momentum Publishing.
Right, that's Daniel Francis, yes?
And after that, I would have taken part in some open poetry slam monthly competitions, doing open mic, and just being a part, giving away free books and whatnot. I've actually, my book is in Scribbles and Squills, that's in Chaguanas, Trinidad, and the Burrow. And recently I've been going out to more bookstores, which is Metropolitan Bookstore in Port of Spain, the Shock and Stock booksellers in West Malls at the Falls, and JD Collection in Excellence Mall, Port of Spain.
Very good. Well, Scribbles and Quills, hi Amina, and hi Brett from Metropolitan. They're my good friends. So hi to you. And they support local authors.
Yes,
and I love that. You know, if you're going to have a bookstore, you need to support the local authors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no reason to take the money from people when they're buying foreign books, but you don't want to sell the local books. You know, we're not about that. So I'm glad that they have your book. Tell us, what is the aim? What is your focus when you're selling your book and talking about your book, and when you wrote the book? What did you want as an outcome from readers reading your book?
Right. So the way that I put the book towards it's basically a collection of poems, or letters rather, to myself, and then I say to you and to the ones that we love.
Oh, that is so sweet. So you've written to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the end, yes, when I finished the manuscript and then I read it over, I'm like, I'm actually writing all this for myself. And then I'm like, I could share with others just to see just so that they could see what I went through, and they might resonate with my experiences as well.
So your aim or mission is to kind of help other persons who may be going through what you're going through, in terms of the anxiety you're dealing with and your injury that you were recovering from. Yeah?
Yes.
That is such a noble cause. Tell me, Did you feel the effects, the cathartic effects, the healing effects of writing immediately, or was it something that happened over time?
Over time. Because at the time as well, I had problem remembering a lot of stuff. So to write, as soon as I write, I would remember. And I'd match it to the moon, the stars that day, and then I'll read that poem again, and then everything would just click, and the imagery, the feel, it just came all back to me.
Why poetry? Why did you decide to write poetry? Why do you identify with that genre?
Um, that's actually quite an interesting question to be asked, because back in high school, in literature class to be exact, I was not great at it. I actually failed literature back in CXC.
Don't say that.
I have to be honest. And my main
Yeah.
problem with poetry back then, or well, that kind, is that we would have always asked about what do you think the writer is saying.
Yes.
Or
They
it
love
asks a
to
way
ask
that
you that.
it asks you, what do you think, right? I'm not in the author's mind, so I could only tell you what I think about it. And I wrote my poem in a way that whatever you think is right, and then I'll give you my interpretation of what I wrote at that time.
Yes. That is so interesting what you said. When they ask you, what do you think the author meant by X, Y, and Z, this line, this stanza, sometimes you're racking your brain to, what do you want me to think they meant? Because I know what I think they meant, but then I get it wrong.
Yes.
So by asking me what I think the author meant to say, are you really asking me, what am I getting out of the poem? And I think that's what poetry is, very subjective. And I think even in literature, we need to embrace person's perspective of the poems and the pieces that they're writing and reading.
Yes.
Because it's so you see a red door, another person comes and say, no, this is burnt orange. And another person says, this is not burnt orange, just looking more burgundy. It's really the perspective that you have, and nobody's wrong. Because whatever you're seeing is your reality. And I like that. Teachers out there, stop giving them the answers wrong for literature. He failed, Who was your literature teacher in high school?
Yeah. I can't blame her though, because to be honest, I wasn't paying attention sometimes.
So licks for you,
Yes,
not for
I
her.
have to take it.
I like that, accountability. You need to take accountability. When you talk about in your book, that idea of the sunflower, of love, apart from the genre of poetry, why did you decide to excavate the topic of love? Why did that appeal to you or resonate with you?
I think it's always been the one thing that I haven't quite grasped yet, especially romantic love. Familiar love, friendships, great, but I've yet to actually reach romantic side as yet. I was always close, but just not.
I think we all have, in one way or the other, grappling with eros, which is that romantic love, How do we acquire it? How do we keep it? Is it really about us in terms of that love, or is it about the other person? Is it about how we feel about the other person, or how the person makes us feel? Or how do we make that person feel? I mean, what about eros love is keeping us from really getting a firm understanding of it? You know what I mean? And love is a thing you really don't understand it until you do it.
Right.
It's one of those things. So did this book, writing this book about eros love, romantic love, Did it help you get any closer to understanding it?
Interesting. We'll probably have to talk about that in my second book.
So there is going to be a second book.
Yes.
Okay. So beside the second book, what's next for you as an author?
Right. What's next? Well, currently I actually started a podcast called Adventures of a Wallflower.
I like that. You have the best names.
Yes. I don't write or release a poem without actually having a name for it. So
Yes. So let me just say, because you're giving me a little half answer from a question, eh?
yes, I will answer it now. So we could go back to
Yes.
that and then
So give me the full answer to my question, please.
right. This is back to the romantic love.
Yes.
Could you remind me what that question was?
So did writing this book about Eros, about romantic love, get you any closer to understanding it, to acquiring it, to having some insight that you did not have before?
Well, I would say yes. I'm also learned about myself and probably what's stopping me per se from actually completing the action. It's not say per se like I am a bad person, but there's sometimes I am oblivious to a lot of things. So
You're
when
in your own world.
yes,
Yes.
as I said, I am introverted, so I
Yeah.
tend to miss some cues when I should be saying this. I may miss the moment where I should have laid a hand and I didn't.
I totally understand. Listen, people don't even agree with me, but I am such an introvert.
Right. And I must add as well, I consider myself a slow burner, so I like to make sure, and I would never tell somebody I love them before I actually love them.
Yes,
I like
before you are aware that
Yes.
you actually feel that way, yeah?
Yes. I like to see someone's character, right? So that might take a while before I even acknowledge to them personally that, yeah, I do
Yes.
actually like you.
Oh,
Yeah.
ladies, he's a slow burn, as my sisters correctly labeled me. They say, she looks slow, you know. That's it. This point, yeah. Yeah, you gotta keep talking to her because she's slow. That's what they told my husband, my current, boyfriend at the time, but they told him, yeah, she's a slow one. You have to keep talking to this one. But yeah, as introverts, that's how we are. We have to be very cautious, be very careful. Sometimes maybe overly in our heads, and that leads us to be quiet because we're thinking, there isn't two things happening. You can't be thinking and talking,
Right.
and you're analyzing your thoughts. And that's why I know that a lot of persons who write are introverts. So it's really hard sometimes to promote your book. So as an introvert, how are you finding the process of marketing your book, attending events to push your book and yourself, introducing yourself to the public, going out there and saying, "Hi, I'm JD Morgan. Have you read my book?" How are you finding that process?
I'm gonna be very honest here. Sometimes I do forget that I'm actually an author at times,
Yeah.
and forget to introduce myself.
Yeah.
I know after the Author Village last year, after that first day, I was completely exhausted.
Yes.
So I'm still learning. I
Yes.
started doing the open mic stuff, so I'm slowly but surely coming out of my shell.
Let me tell you, I'm going to give you a trick that works for me. It may work for you, I don't know. But I'm going to share it with you and the other introverts who may be out there, and some ambiverts, because I'm learning now that I've been, as you say, coming out of my shell.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more of an ambivert. So I have my extroverted times and introverted times. And for a lot of introverts, when we go out into the public space, mingle, talk to people, we find that when we get back, when we finish with that, listen, energy done, gone. We have to, go hibernate for a little bit to catch ourselves. And I do that all the time. So if I'm, on a show or out there in public, I have to hibernate for a bit so I could come back and function. It isn't that easy for me to just spring back to life and go and go and go. I need some quiet, dark time, silent time, don't speak to me time, leave me alone time, go away time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that may work for you too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've heard it as well about it's like I go out at these events, the open mics, and I'll be conversing, and then some friends come back. You would never think that you're an introvert at all.
Yes, we're good. We hide well. We hide well, but they don't know when we finished, right?
Yeah.
That's it. We have no more to give. We have to shut away so we could regenerate and, come back to life. It's a weird process. I'm finding it easier and easier as I understand myself. It's something you have to really understand yourself and give yourself time.
Right.
Because a lot of times as an introvert, people, why you don't like to be out? We want to go out and hang out. You don't want to go. You never want to go nowhere. And you like something wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Introverts out there, nothing is wrong with you. Pay attention to yourself, learn yourself, and give yourself what you need, and yourself will be able to function in the public world. Your public self will feel quite active and happy if you give that introverted side of yourself some time, quiet time, alone time, don't speak to me time. Close all the windows, close the door, take off the light, and leave me alone. Give me food, give me drink, and go away.
Like this, my favorite saying used to be, once I'm inside, I'm inside. When I'm outside, I'm outside.
That's right. When they say we outside this and we in it to win it, but when they see we get back home,
Yeah.
that's it, folks.
Don't
It's
call
a
me.
wrap. It's a wrap. Listen, I identify with you so much, JD. But we're going on a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back, and when we come back, JD Morgan is going to be reading for us our read aloud session. He's going to be reading from us from The Silent Love. So, get your drink, get your snack, whether you're drinking government juice, right? When you're drinking the new type of champagne with Mr. Morgan, yes, sparkle champagne, whatever you may be having, a little snack, go get your snack and come right back. We'll be back in a few minutes. Put up your feet and get ready to be read to from The Silent Love by JD Morgan. We'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, readers, lovers of the written word, to Book Club Corner. I'm your host of Book Club Corner, and I am here today with JD Morgan, the author of The Silent Love. And he's going to be reading to us today from his book some poems. Listen, get yourself comfy. I warned you, go and get your snack, your drink, whatever you need, put up your foot. And this is our read aloud segment. Get comfy as he is going to read to us from his book, The Silent Love. Are you ready?
Right. I am.
Great.
Right. My first piece is entitled Migraine. Turning left, turning right. Twisted thoughts got me blacked out. Tongue twister, call me mister. Packed to the brim with complications, looking for distractions. Pulsating eat, pulsing heart. How I keep missing the beat. Sure, I can't see past the seashore. The noose is tightening, won't you let it loose? Blinding lights, grinding nights. Stiff neck, I've got to hit the deck. Lay me 6 feet under for my blunder. Knocked out cold, I love to fall. Nauseating nausea, all up inside, waiting to come up outside. All that thrashing against the wall. Take out the trash before I fall. Please don't call. Right, that's the end of migraine.
Don't call. He's having a migraine.
Yes, I indeed was
Oh my
describing a
gosh.
migraine.
Yeah.
And my favorite piece the faded dreams. I lived in memories that I loved, never to regret the things that I'd done. For what a man is but a sum of all the things and all the people who made him whole. From an early age I felt the world's pain. In my soul, I am one of a kind, to be kind. I loved in memories that I lived. The final piece that I'll share with you guys, Stuck in a Gaze, in brackets, Silent Love. Why I like her, a question poised to the fore of my mind, even though I might be at the back of hers. Why? It is the curvature of her mind, the brilliance of her smile, which lights up with ambition, the intellect of her body, the lines exotically defined with grace. I see the stars in her countenance, the flushed pink lips below her cheeks, the dimples that form ripples from ear to ear, the youthful gaze and the playful touch, like a walk through a meadow on a spring day, the sun shining through my window on a cloudy day, the rainbow smiling after the storm that up and went away. A lazy Sunday, won't you amaze me every day? Her, a woman growing in strength, the joker who sometimes has a serious poker face, the woman with beauty in flaws which we learn to grow from, a woman so annoying that I find it amusing. Thank you.
The curvature of her mind. I love that line. That's a good one. The curvature of her mind. I was expecting you to say something else. And you hit me there with the curvature of her mind. I said, yes. Yes.
Yes.
That poem, was that inspired by anybody specifically? You don't call the name.
Not calling it. But just before I answer that, I should state that there are puzzles in the book in itself that like certain letters, stanzas, first letters that actually spells a name, certain words actually mean or rather mention that person. So like a nickname.
So you've left Easter eggs in the book for persons to kind of breadcrumbs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that poem was written based on a friend asked me, why do I like this girl?
Yeah.
I couldn't orally say it, but when I put pen to paper, it just came out
That
like
was
that.
why. I like that. That is really sweet. And I love that one, my green. Two words, right?
Yes.
My green. What inspired you to dissect that word and to talk about textures as well as emotions in that one poem?
Yeah. I believe most likely I was also looking at probably a furniture at that time as well. And I actually was going through a migraine.
Yes.
And that was like one of the only ways to deal with that migraine at the time.
So you took yourself away by getting into the wood grain that you were seeing.
Yes.
I love that. I love that, you're doing some play on words. Some are obvious, faded dreams, when you talk about, there's some childhood trauma I heard in there coming out.
Yes.
But, in migraine, you're talking about textures. And I have found that during migraine periods, that's when any little thing feels like, a little light is too much. A little noise is too much. So literally, you were focusing on this thing, the grain of the wood, and looking at it. Did you find any love in there? Did you find any love in there? In the grains, looking at textures, at nature?
Yes, I do actually love hiking, so that's one of the most peaceful times for me. So when I go on hikes, I would also get ideas to write poems as well.
And you use nature, have you used nature to not just inspire you, but as, I would say, a theme in the book?
Yes, so I mostly speak about the sun and the moon. So
Yes.
sometimes I might be saying she, and you might think it's actually a woman I'm talking about, but I'm actually talking about the moon.
So you're into astrology, is it safe to say?
Not so much. I'm into the stars, yes, but not on a granular level like.
Okay. Tell us where readers can find your book, and where we can find you on social media.
Right. So locally in Trinidad, my book can be purchased at Scribbles and Quills in Chaguanas, the Burrows at the Jazz Complex in Couva, Metropolitan Bookstore in Port of Spain on R. Peter Avenue, Shock and Stock Booksellers at the Falls in West Malls, and Excellent Mall, JD Collections at the Excellent Mall in Port of Spain.
And that's on Frederick Street.
That's on Frederick Street.
Awesome.
And additionally, for you guys regionally, my book can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a lot of other major online retailers as well, including you could get the hardcover and the ebook as well online.
Very good. This is a nice gift, and we have Valentine's Day coming up, eh?
Yes.
So it's a perfect gift for that love in your life, whether it's eros love, familiar love, right? Unconditional love that parents have for their children, you know?
Yeah.
It's a really nice book to get as a gift for Valentine's Day. And don't think that Valentine's Day is, relegated to those who are in romantic love. This is a really nice time to express yourself, and you don't have to wait on Valentine's Day, right? We do have Carnival coming up, and a lot of people express a lot of love during Carnival time, right?
Right.
Do you play Carnival? Do you participate?
I've played Juve and I haven't played Clean Masters yet. Hopefully I will in the future. I'm looking forward to that. So I've been here 16 years, so I've experienced a lot. And just that one thing I need to experience now.
Then, so you're having a great time.
Yeah.
Listen, for those who are locked into Book Club Corner, we want to thank you for sticking with us today. And, before I let you go, let me ask you this final question. As an author, a published author at that, what would you leave our viewers with in terms of advice? Some do's and don'ts of writing, publishing. What would you leave the viewers with as advice from JD Morgan on his first book, heading into his second book?
Right. Put pen to paper. You have an idea, put it down. Doesn't have to be great, just put it down. You could have the next idea, and that will be the one that you actually work on now, and you might come back to the one previously further down. So just start. That's the best advice I've gotten and I could give to you. And look for support. You have friends, they could review your book. Yeah, you have editing friends, so you could, if you're actually at the stage as to publish the book, you could reduce your resources, rather use your resources wisely and cut down on costs. Additionally, you could also reach out to me if you have any more questions and want to find out my future plans with other books and my current books on Instagram at j.d_Morgan_writes. And you can find me on Facebook at j.d.Morgan. And I also have a web page, j.d.morgan.com.
Excellent. I think that advice is gold.
Yeah.
I think it's gold. Viewers, we're going to leave you on that note. Great advice from a new emerging author, JD Morgan, his book, The Silent Love. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being here, viewing Book Club Corner for these last 60 minutes. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday, when we chat with another great author. Be kind to yourself and please enjoy yourself.